not going to engage in condemnation, but I did feel a need and an obligation to comment because so much stuff is being said about this man that works with me 2 days a week on ESPN.
What's going on, gang? You already know this Anakin 9.5 beats, man. I just want to address something real quick about Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharpe. And I'm going to play this clip. It's about a few minutes, but check me out real quick. Shannon Sharpe. Man, it's kind of weird that once you stop playing football and then you got on the scene being a so-called journalist, but really you're an entertainer. That's what they saying. Man, you just you, bro. And I want to respect Stephen A. Smith for bringing you onto the show. And now it's a backlash because he's worried about what other people think and he got to address some issues. And he always telling people to shut up. Well, man, why don't you shut the hell up, man? You always got that scheming and scamming, bro. And it may not seem that way. Y'all watch this clip, bro. Watch this clip. It's about 3 minutes, 4 minutes long. Watch the clip and see how he turned it up. And then when people start messaging and getting in his, you know what I'm saying, chat line and telling him to quit that, then he calmed down. Just really go to his show, but what? To his podcast or whatever the fuck that is. Listen, man, Shannon Sharpe, I think you're a genuine dude. We all have been through shit. But I think you're a real genuine dude. And I think everybody's hating because of your views. Listen to this man, 85 views. And if I would have did this way. Well, then, bitch, do it then. Invite Cat Williams and everybody on your show. No, you can't because you ESPN doggone gatekeeper, nigga. Like, stop that shit. So, Shannon, all I'm saying is keep doing what you're doing. Eventually, you're going to leave ESPN. And just stick to Club Shay. You know what you're doing. I ain't even got to tell you what to do. You know what you're doing. Y'all watch this clip and see how this man go up. Then he bring it back down. It's too late, man. Like, why are you saying that's your brother and you and you know what I'm saying? He may be wrong, but man, wrong, right, wrong, bro. Stephen A. Smith, come on, bro. I tried to give you a little credit and start watching your show on ESPN, First Take, all that crap, man. But you know, my dogs, my boys, you know what I'm saying? When we got a problem, we not gonna put that shit on social media, man. We gonna pull a person to the side. It seems like you trying to get your views up, my G. You mad because this man views up and nobody watching your shit, bro. So now you want to get on there and talk about, oh, well, if I did people. Listen to what this man said. The people asked me to come on the show and talk about Shannon Sharpe, and you did exactly what everybody else told you to do because you want to get your likes up and get your views up. Come on, bro. Like, quit that. Quit that, bro. You doing the same thing Skip Bayless and the rest of these cats doing. That's why you can't even trust nobody, bro. You can't even trust your own family, your own friends. Yeah. You can trust your enemies more than you can trust your friends because you know what your enemies are going to bring to the table. You feel me? But a person that sit right beside you every other day, and then they going to worry about what everybody else saying, and they going to bring, man, listen, you should have just pulled that man to the side and told him what you don't like, what you do like, and all that, man. Don't do that, bro. You don't get a reward for that. Now, check this clip out.
That's over 73 million views. You can say whatever you want to say. You just can't take away from that reality and what Shannon Sharpe has brought to the table. The flip side to that, however, is that when you do interviews of this nature, we've heard noises emanating from our community because both of us are black men. I'm from the North New York City. He's from the South. It doesn't matter. As black men, as brothers, as black people, what Dion Cole alluded to on numerous occasions in terms of negativity selling, in terms of us going after one another, what Chris Spencer alluded to when he talked about how nobody does this to one another but black people, it's inescapable. It's a reality. And so as a result of that, I have to answer questions because people have literally asked me, Stephen A., what do you think about how Shannon Sharpe interviewed Cat Williams and Monique? What do you think about the pushback or lack thereof? Why give somebody the platform to come out on your show and say all the things that they've said? I'd be lying if I said those were not legitimate questions. I'd also be remiss in neglecting to inform you that I personally asked Shannon Sharpe to come on this podcast and discuss it. To his credit, although he's not here, he was willing to come on. He just had other commitments because he knows I'm his brother and I'm not trying to backdoor him. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people are not going to like. I don't believe that Shannon Sharpe is just an entertainer. I believe he's a voice. He's a voice in our community that is elevating by the day. He matters. And because he matters, with that level of significance and cachet comes a level of responsibility, some would say. But when you do it to the point where you're trying to act as if he shouldn't have them as guests, or somehow, some way he could have curtailed or edited out what they've said, I'm not going to go that far. Shannon Sharpe is under no obligation to edit or alter genuine thoughts that his guests have on his shows. If that's how they feel, that's how they feel. Now, would I have been a little bit different? Sure, because I'm a trained journalist. And as a result, the level of pushback that I would give, I'm seasoned and trained to do it, spanning 30 years. When Shannon Sharpe was on Club Shay, or Nightcap rather, weeks ago, and he said to Chad Ochocinco during one of his telecasts, I'm not Ed Bradley, the late Ed Bradley, God rest his soul. I'm not 60 Minutes. I'm not 48 Hours. I'm an entertainer. My only retort to him was that you're not just an entertainer, you're a voice. And take that voice into consideration whenever you do whatever it is that you do, so you're never telling somebody that you're just an entertainer. Because you're more than that. Outside of that, I have a very, very, very difficult time looking at the day and age that we're living in. Seeing 68 million views here, 5 million views there, over 73 million views for just 2 interviews, and asking somebody to ignore the significance of that, knowing most people wouldn't. Because that's being full of shit. That's not being authentic. Most people wouldn't ignore that. Now, again, I would have pushed back on Cat Williams on several things. Because the personal in which he went about the business of highlighting his attacks and illuminating his attacks against Kevin Hart, against Steve Harvey, against Ricky Smiley, Cedric the Entertainer, Michael Blackson, and others, or I would have wanted receipts. I would have had to dig a little more. That's just me. That's just me. Steve Harvey's a friend. Kevin Hart's a friend. If they came on this show right now and they were talking about Cat Williams in the fashion that Cat Williams talked about them, I would have grilled them. Because when you sit in front of this microphone, in front of this camera, my belief is that in pursuit of truth, you have to be objective. Now, you can be subjective once you receive the truth about how you receive it, how you interpret it, how your perspective is, and what you disseminate to the masses. That's fair. But in pursuit of the truth, the objectivity has to come reigning through. There are people who feel like Shannon Sharpe didn't do that. I respectfully disagree. I think he just did it differently than most. When Steve Harvey came on his show, they said what they wanted to say. When Cedric the Entertainer came on the show, they said what they wanted to say. When Cat Williams came on the show, he said what he wanted to say. When Monique came on the show, she said what she wanted to say. We don't know what level of veracity and truth is attached to any of their words or lack thereof, and we have to be real and authentic in that regard. But when somebody wants me to get at Shannon Sharpe, it's not happening. I'm going to support my brother. Even if I think he's wrong, I'm still going to say it, but I'm going to support him anyway. Meaning letting him know I'm always going to look out. But in this particular instance, I think the eye is being pointed in the wrong direction. So many people want to sit up there and talk about people were famous for doing this to me, coming to me and having expectations they wanted to heap on my shoulders. Why? Because guess what? Now you in this position, Stephen A. But what the hell did you do to get me here? When I was scratching and clawing and climbing my way to this position, where were you then? You didn't do anything for me then, but when I got there, all of a sudden I owe you and us something because I'm in a place you ain't. Nah, I'm not going for that. So in that regard, I'm not going to engage in condemnation. But I did feel a need and an obligation to comment because so much stuff is being said about this man that works with me 2 days a week on ESPN's First Take. And I had to let everybody know where I stood about the man that I brought in to sit across from me 2 days a week. And that's where I stand with that. I'm not saying I agree with everything. I'm certainly not saying I would have done things the way that he's done it. I'm not saying that somebody